you doing? How are you doing, everybody? Hi, Starger. Hi. I hope you're well. I hope you're fine. I hope you survived the start of the week very well. I hope you do. I hope you did. Yeah. It's a typical Monday. The evil Monday is here. Oh no. Don't worry, Imp is here to the rescue. With lots of yapping again. No, like in all seriousness, I hope you're fine. I hope you're all fine. I, for my part, have one major problem. I may or may not slept away the entire day and don't have groceries, so I had to improvise with coffee. My poor little coffee. Luckily, I still had a package somewhere in the corner. I don't know if it's still fine. It could taste absolutely terrible, which would be not the worst. Not the worst drink I ever had. If it's if the coffee is not up to par. I mean, the caffeine is still in there, so it should help. Yeah. I hope you didn't have it like me, that you basically were asleep the entire day. I don't even know why. What the fuck? Oh my god, way too many people messaging me already. Why? It's every single time the same thing. The moment I go online, everybody thinks like, hey, message him. Message this boy. Message this imp. And why? They all miss me. I bet. They're all addicted. No, in all seriousness, I spent yesterday evening with YAPPING. After stream, I was gone so fast, and I don't know. I sleep way too much. I don't sleep multiple hours on end. Yeah, I always sleep like 2 to 3 hours, but awake hour, back to sleep again, and so on. It's absolutely It is not good. I tell you, you're not rested. You're not well rested, not at all. But the time that I had, I spent looking at Warhammer lore. I'm absolutely stupid. I'm absolutely bloop. I spent the little bit of time that I had awake completely feeding on Warhammer fantasy lore. I don't know why. I'm not one of the 40k guys. I understand the appeal, but I can't get into it. The setting is simply too all over the place. It is too... I don't know how to name it. 40k, in my feeling... If you look at something like Star Trek or Star Wars, you have a feeling for size, for amount. You still have a feeling of importance if something breaks or something gets defeated or stuff. Meanwhile, in 40k, you feel like, yeah, there were millions of people gone. By the way, it doesn't matter. Yeah, this massive battle went to shit. The entire planet exploded. But you know what? It didn't matter. Yeah, it's strange, if you know what I mean. I don't know how else to say it. But yeah, so much for this. I like the fantasy lore a lot more. Apart from the end times. The end times were absolute bullshit. That Games Workshop wanted to simply kill the setting, just to later realize that it was a mistake. Not good. Certainly not good. Yeah, it's like there's the writing in that time period is so incredibly bad. I can't even have words for it. You can expect, if we play Warhammer Total War at one point, I will drop lore bombs the entire time. At least from what I know. Yeah, I'm not perfect. I don't know everything, which is the main thing why I still look at it. But I know a good chunk. And I like to... Yeah, exactly. I like to go into the into details with the stuff because I think it's simply way better written and with way more interesting characters. Also, honestly, you have not like you have more variety. I feel like yes, you have in the 40k area you have like the Empire, you have the single Space Marine factions, you have the, of course, the 4 Chaos Gods, you have the Tyranids, you have the Necrons, the Tau, the Orcs, of course. Like, you have factions, yes, but I feel like the factions in fantasy are so much more unique in that sense, and so much more diverse. Alone, Elder, you have 2 Elder factions, basically. It starts already with the fact that in fantasy, you have 3 elf factions. You have multiple dwarf factions. You have multiple human factions. You have also the orcs. You have different kind of orcs that also behave and live differently. You have the lizard man. You have the Skaven, or god, the Skaven. You have the beast man. You have the Emir. You have the trolls and the giants, the dragons. You have so much stuff there, and even more unique stuff like freaking cannibalistic ogres. What? I simply like that stuff way more. I feel like there is way more stuff to look at in the sense of something that could interest anyone. I mean, alone the fact that there is more than 4 Chaos Gods in there. I know Games Workshop dropped some new Chaos Gods, minor Chaos Gods for 40k now, but yeah, I think it's a little late. Yeah, it's I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. They just come up with something now and it feels off. Especially if you think about it, that they already have some. What would be huge? Like, seriously huge. Introduce the freaking Skaven into 40k. Come on. That would be a gold mine, please. That would even interest me to a very big extent. Like, seriously. But I don't think they will, because that's the one big appeal for the fantasy spectrum and the entire, the Age of Sigmar bullshit that they come up with. Granted, Age of Sigmar has very nice models. Yeah, the minis are really well made. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It feels off. It certainly feels off. And, yeah, I mean, if we think about it, if I think about it out of my head, what is an interesting story? The entire story of Nagash is definitely high up on the list. I think Cetra, the Imperishable, he's also something really cool. Like, he's the only actual ruler who conquered nearly the entire known world, died, got resurrected against his will, just to decide, you know what? If I'm here again, then I can rule again. Let's go. And goes out again. And he's the only one who openly defied the Chaos God, never got tempted, and basically showed them the middle finger. Like, what the frick? How much more badass do you want? Or freaking Malekith, who is directly inspired by Darth Vader. Like, seriously. Got burned in the fire. Was the son of the Elven King at that time. And when the Elven King was gone, he was not chosen as the successor, but he sees himself as the real king. So he stepped, went the ritual, went the ceremony of stepping into the phoenix fire, into the magical fire of the gods, to prove that you're the rightful chosen one. Yeah, you're the chosen one. He stepped the actual chosen one in the back, stepped into the fire himself because he was convinced he is the one. Got burned really badly, like Anakin Skywalker burned, yeah. And only lived because his dear mommy, aka Murati the Slanesh worshipper, rescued him, and now he has a full body suit with mask and a very interesting voice, menacing look, and is on a grand scale civil war to reclaim his crown nonetheless. And in that way, he created the Dark Elves. Like, how much more? I like that. He is one of the most crazy guys out there, because he sees chaos. He doesn't like chaos, but at the same time, he's like, you know what? You're useful. I don't like you. I don't allow you. But when you have usefulness for me, I can work with that. And he is straight up saying the Chaos Gods are shit. I don't worship them. But they're demons. They are useful nonetheless. He is openly trying to use the Chaos Gods as his tools. Like, what the frick? How much more full of yourself can you be? Like, there's so many characters who are so full of themselves and absolutely nuts. I love it. Then you have freaking Kislev, who are in the middle of an ice desert, yeah? Of a snow desert. Openly fight the Chaos Demons right at the border and be like, we survive. We stand. We stand here menacingly, and no matter what you throw at us, we keep standing. Or better said, sitting on our freaking polar bears and right into battle. Oh, come on. Please. I don't know. There's so many aspects of the fantasy universe that are absolutely crazy. I simply love it. I love it. I think that much is hearable. And so yeah, I remember when I was initially very hesitant to do anything with Warhammer. I was always under the so I don't know. I always thought like, yeah, it is Warhammer. Who cares? I'm not into that. Because all I knew was 40k. And I was like, yeah, Space Marine, Space Marine, Space Marine. Here, Alien. And Space Marine, Space Marine, Space Marine. No. I was certainly not that. I didn't like it at all. I'm more of a fantasy guy than science fiction anyway. So I always was more the Lord of the Rings fan than a Star Wars fan. Despite me liking both, actually. But yeah, it's always more like something like fantasy style. And then at one point, because I was a very big Total War fan, I'm still a big Total War fan, even though the latest games are not that great. When they came around with Total War Warhammer 1, I was like, yeah, I don't know. People don't say good stuff about it, and a lot of people are conflicted and stuff, and here and there. And I kept playing my Total War Napoleon and Total War Attila and Medieval 2, like the classics. And yeah, when Warhammer 2 came out, the sequel, and they even said they combined the maps, I was like intrigued. And I like freaking Skaven were introduced. And all the elves, and I looked at the trailer and saw the freaking Lizardmen as well, and was like, yeah, come. You can try it. You can give it back as long as you don't play 2 hours. So I bought it. I tried it. And the next time I looked at the clock, I was already 10 hours in. It got me so hard. And at this point, I started looking deeper into the full fantasy setting of Warhammer, and I have to say it is absolute madness. It is so entirely different than anything out there in terms of fantasy setting, because it simply combines so much and even has some few unique things that I simply enjoy. But know this: if we play the Total War Warhammer, we will play with mods. With lots of mods. Or better said, like, deciding mods. Like, there are certain mods. There is a freaking World War I mod. Like, there is so much stuff. I can't even start to, wait. These are 6K. Another 4K. Another 4K. 1.5. Another one. Yeah, there are far over 10,000 mods. So, in other words, there's a lot to choose from. A lot to pick from. So we can make it interesting. Don't worry, don't worry. I know Total War games can be slow, they can be boring at times, but yeah. Anyway, guys, you still didn't say anything. How is it going? What are you doing? Did you survive the Monday somehow, or do you only exist in this more delusional state of vegetating inside your chair? I have a tip for you. Drink coffee. Yeah. Come on, guys. Nothing? As always? Unbelievable how absolute not cooperative you are. It's crazy to me, you know? Absolutely crazy. Crazy stuff. Anyway, yeah. Ow. Ow. Damn. What else? What else? Anything? Anything? I try to come up with stuff to talk about. Stuff to talk about. More stuff to talk about. By the way, have you seen? I said it on the Discord a few times. Have you seen the Bannerlord DLC that they work on? I hope they manage to bring it out this year. Freaking sea battles, plus Vikings, plus map expansion. Excuse me. Excuse me. Where can I sign up? Where can I sign up? I want to lead my freaking waiting party over this ocean and wait the entirety of the continent. I so want that. Please. That will be great. I tell you already, it will be absolute lunatic. The moment that comes out, you will see me addicted to that game again. On the other hand, maybe, just maybe, Crusader Kings gets her map update out first. Then it could happen that I alternate between the games again. For reference, I want to mention hours played. Mountain Blade Bannerlord 900 hours. Crusader Kings 3 1300 hours. Yeah, it's like yeah, okay. And in case you don't know what map expansion I mean, Crusader Kings 3 or Crusader Kings in general never had like East Asia. They never had that. Like China, Japan, and so on. They never had that in any game that they worked on so far. And now they want to finally bring it in. So I want to freaking lead my samurais. I will play Japan. I don't care. That will be great. I tell you already. Ooh, Zoe. I see what Zoe is doing. Also a game that we still have to play, V-Rising. I never finished V-Rising. Did you know? I think I mentioned it before. I never finished that game. We really have to. Wow. I think at one point I will simply make a list of games that I could play for you, that we could go in, and I will set it onto Discord and see what people say. Because at this point I have so much, I'm all over the place. My ADHD, no. I can't concentrate on it all. There's simply too much. Wow. Also, I still think that I get sick. I still believe that I get sick because my nose is constantly closed. I don't know what the hell is going on. I really don't want to. I get so rarely sick. I get sick so rarely, luckily. But if I get sick, I most times are completely knocked out. Like, seriously knocked out. Like, I sit here basically... I was sitting here half the day, basically half dead. Because of the eepiness. I have no idea what is even going on. Yeah. Anyway, coffee, please. Coffee. Immediately, completely different feeling. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful, I tell you. So, okay. What did I even want to wait? I had something in my head earlier. I can't remember, goddammit. I seriously, like, not even joking, I already forgot what I wanted to say. Fuck! My brain is not braining today. I have no idea. I swear. I'm lost in space. Oh, true. We still have the Stardew Valley farm. I nearly fully forgot. I only see it because I look at my library in freaking Steam right now. Bah. Why is it like this? What the? Wow. Yeah. I want to cry. Why do I want to cry? I don't know. I just want to. Did you actually, that's an interesting fact, and I don't even know why that is. I can't cry. Like, I mean, like, seriously, with tears and so. I literally can't. I was at the funeral of my grandmother that I really loved dearly. I was sad, yes. But I was also somehow emotionally dead. Because somehow I was there and I wanted to cry. But I couldn't. I had so many situations where I was so incredibly sad, but nothing happened. Like, seriously. I think this is simply that I got, as a child, in this therapy bullshit, so often it pushed into my head, don't show emotion, you don't cry, you are not allowed to cry, it's wrong to cry. And by now I'm simply so completely broken in my head, I cannot. Where other people, like certain movies or whatever, they were like, oh no, that's the saddest thing ever, and I had to cry my eyes out, and I couldn't hold it, and whatever, and I sit there. Okay. Like, seriously, I sit there like nothing is happening. Like, yeah, sucks. Next. I'm an emotional nightmare. I don't know. I don't know. Speaking of emotions, I think I need definitely certain help with certain things, because I have it also. I guess that's also a side effect of the whole bullshit that happened to me in my childhood. That if there is even the slightest amount of stress, in the sense of a stressful situation, where I feel either misunderstood or mistreated, I have an instant adrenaline rush. To the point that I have shaking legs and have to, purely by willpower, hold myself back from just going off. Like, seriously, it's not even like just meant. I seriously, whole body is shaking. Even though, realistically seen, there's nothing going on. Yeah, I had this in a discussion once. What was it? It was simply someone who wouldn't understand what I mean and kept on not necessarily saying stupid things, but more being like slightly aggressive towards me with a certain measure of stubbornness plus stupidity plus ignorance stuff. In the end, it was silly. Looking back, I say it was an absolute silliness to get angry over it at all. The thing is, I wasn't really angry. It was just like, I was annoyed to the extent that I was simply like, why? Yeah? You know that feeling, like frustration. Frustration is the word. And I felt it. Like, in that moment, my focus went away from having a proper conversation with them to stay calm, don't do anything, stand still, and my entire body is simply yeah. It's like holy. I was at the doctor for this already, and they said like there's nothing I can do about it. Like seriously, this is simply that my body overreacts in terms of pumping adrenaline out in certain situations. And that's it is annoying, especially since my entire concentration goes south. Yeah, it goes completely away since I have to concentrate fully on the fact that I have to hold myself calm. Yeah, it's I mean, it could explain certain situations as a child where I went a little bit over the top in a situation where I saw myself in danger, but still, like, it's not fun. It is certainly not fun to deal with. And it's also, I don't think it is healthy on top of it. Like, seriously, adrenaline can be useful, but at the same time, if it's like this, if it comes out in the slightest amount of stress, I don't think it is good for you. I wait for the... I mean, I think it's good that I'm a EP head at the moment. And that I try to have a very chill life. Because it simply avoids such situation. I try to avoid such situation. But the thing is, oh god. I actually had that. I had a conversation over a chat, yeah? I was sitting in front of my PC and just had a chat with someone who was so ignorant and so arrogant and full of themselves. It made me mad. And while sitting in front of my PC, I had this adrenaline rush all of a sudden. I couldn't even write. I couldn't even write properly. I couldn't hold it. I ended up simply standing up, going up and down in my apartment a few times, and then it was fine. Walk it off. Just walk it off, people. That works. Like, seriously, it works. Speaking of walking, I have to move more again. I got too lazy. I certainly got too lazy lately. I don't know. Coffee. Lately, I sit around too much. I mean, yes, sure, during the streams I sit a lot. Also something I want to change over time. But simply, I get too lazy lately. I spent way too much time inside and let my training go. Damn it. But yeah, I think a good bit would already be if I had this... I want this desk that goes up and down if you press a button. So I can actually stand in front of the PC instead of sitting the entire time. It will be good for the legs as well and for the back. If I do that. If I have that. But they're so freaking expensive! Because I need at least 1.80 meters. Yeah? Of table. At least. Because otherwise I cannot get everything onto it. Because I think... Wait. I never shared my setup, did I? No, I didn't. Damn. Maybe I should clean up the desk ons and then maybe show it at one time. Because it's actually... I said it before, I made this desk that I used completely myself. Out of wood and an old closet. And an old childhood desk that I had. I made it completely myself, yeah. And I think you see it a little bit. It's a little bit... I wouldn't say like... fucked up. It is still fine. It looks good. And as good as a self-made one can look. But I really need a proper one at one point. But yeah, I have my big PC where that I can't even close. Yeah, I have to let the side open because the graphic card is simply so large that it blocks the thing. Yeah, I wanted to get me like a plate. I don't know what would be good. Considering what I have to do there, maybe I simply get me a metal plate and make lots of holes into it or something. No, I make me a plate and simply... The thing is, normally a PC is like this. Now, here at the side, you have like the graphic card looking out like this, the cables. They look out of the side. So I have to basically make... If you have it like this, I have to make something that closes it like this. Since here is the cable looking out the entire time on the side. So yeah, I have it to make that by hand because I don't think there's anything I can buy for that. At least not in the size. So then, yeah, there is my PC. Then there is my VR headset is laying around here. Then we have my 3 screens. My improvised holding for the webcam. my 2 music boxes. Controller, there's everything is on here. But what's also on here is like measure. How is this called? A ruler? Multiple pens. Lots of paperwork. Multiple cups for cacao, tea, and coffee. A few glasses. Large. Honestly, what is this? 1 liter, 1.5 liter cup for my water. A clock? A clock that doesn't work anymore. Okay, good to know. Why do I have this here? I have a fork. I have 2 forks here. Actually interesting. Why do I have... Oh, wait. I have a spider. I have a small little spider. Actually kind of cute. Honestly, do you find that spiders are good, or do you have fear of spiders? I personally like spiders a lot. I never had any fear of them any. I remember once in a zoo, I had an actual large tarantula on my hand. Just sitting there, being completely chill. I had to be very, very careful with handling it anyway, because like just hold still, no fast movement, just let it sit there. And when the zookeeper was done, simply slowly move your hand to the enclosure again and let it crawl off by itself. Easy. Same zoo, different year. A freaking snake. Like this really large. What was it? Was it an anaconda? I think it was an anaconda, but a small one. Like, not a fully grown one. That was also cool. Like, having the snake around the neck and just chilling. It had no interest in hurting me because I was perfectly still and calm. And the snake already ate beforehand. And like, it was really cool. Like, having it here around the neck and just looking around the entire time, and you could actually pet it very carefully. Like, that's so different. So entirely different. I also only because they stopped doing that. In that one zoo, they had that children could come in when the sea lions were fed. Yeah, with the fishes. With the fishes. Like, they had it that you were allowed, under supervision of course, to feed them the fishes. They stopped that because of insurance reasons. At one point. But it was fun. Like, they were so incredibly nice. I mean, of course, they just wanted their food, but they were willing to do a lot of things to get their fish. That was cool. Like, all the interactions, I don't think that it's something the zoos do today anymore. I don't think that's something they do anymore. But still, like, it's an experience. It certainly is an experience. Reminds me, I was, where was it? It was not the one here in my city. It was, a zoo further away. I remember, there was a girl, was just standing there and was not paying attention, and the giraffe was like, your hair looks like hay. Let me have a taste. Oh no, that was hilarious. She freaked out because sure, her hair got eaten. Like, seriously. But I found it funny. I found it funny nonetheless. It's sometimes I'm a little sadist. I don't know why. I don't know how. I'm not even sure if it's good or not, but sometimes I have these moments where I'm simply find it funny when others have unlucky. I don't know. I'm sometimes like this. Not always, believe me. I indeed have more joy when people are lucky. Like, when people have, like, a good time, I usually have a good time. It is very rarely that I have something like jealousy, and if I have it, it's most times, like, less that I don't like them to have it, but more like I would like to have it as well. Which most of 99% of the time is when I know I can never get that. Yeah, if someone wins in the lottery, like I don't know, gets millionaire status or something, I know exactly I will never hit that. Which then triggers a certain sense of jealousy, but not in the way of me not being happy for them to have it, but more unhappy about me not having it. Yeah, it's like I'm fine with them having it, but I want it too. Please, just a little bit. Every now and then, please. Yeah, it's. I don't know. I don't think I will never win anything in that sense. I think if I finally want to get stuff done, I need a job, but that I can actually do and not drop unconscious the entire time. I mean, I found a few that I could look at to work there, but I'm not sure if they even take me. Because, like, how do I say it? It is, it would be interesting workplace. Let's say it like this. But I seriously consider it to at least ask. Because number one, it would involve me moving to a different city, something that I want to do the entire for so long now. Number two, I don't know. Working in the management of a brothel sounds a little strange, right? Being accountant there or something is a little strange. But hey, a job is a job, right? No, I seriously consider it simply because I imagine organizations like this to be a little bit different than the usual company. Like, I think they don't have that much on choices to pick from when they need more people for them to work in the office and so on. Yeah. I think that could be something, and if I get just above minimum wage, I'm already fine. Yeah. I mean, minimum wage. What would be minimum wage on a full-time week? Wait. Let me calculate real quick. 40 times 4 would be 2k brutto. So I would be around the same. If I go full time on minimum wage, I would be around the same money that I have now without a job. Find the issue, by the way. So if I see it like this, that I will likely get more than minimum. I don't know, maybe that's times 4. I have this, and then yeah, I mean, if I just get a little bit more than minimum wage, then I'm already fine and live better than I do right now. That would be already something, and I would be more than willing to do that. What the frick? My phone just freaks out. What the? What are they doing? Wait. Who liked my post? Wait. Okay. Oh. Who's this? Ah. VTuber news and small streamer support have reposted my Blue Sky post. That's nice of them. Would be even nicer if they had anything in terms of followership, but yeah, it's nice of them. I like. Why not? Oh, that's I don't complain. I certainly don't complain about that. Thank you for this one. The thing is just like something that I learned. Yes, I post the announcement on X and Blue Sky that I go live. But I rarely get anyone here who comes from there. Yeah? At least I don't know of anyone who ever wrote in chat who came from one of the true websites. Yeah, it's I don't know. Maybe it's a waste of time, but on the other hand, it could be helpful. Who knows? Maybe at one point. So, what the... What? Okay. Yeah, I have to get more active, honestly. I have to get more active in terms of social media. I'm so behind. But I think that's all part of my motivation problem. Which, again, I mean, I looked further into it. Why am I always EP? Like, even if I slept enough, yeah? Even then, I'm always EP. And I have huge motivation problems at the moment. So I assume it is all, like, seriously, all depression. I hate it. I hate to admit it, but I think it is. Oh, the caffeine is slowly kicking in. I notice because my eyes get up properly. They slowly rise. They slowly are. Like seriously. Yeah, no, it's I think like the main issue I always had, even back then before I was a VTuber, when I was still doing like everything in German because of convenience reasons, and everything still with more normal stuff, yeah, more normal streams and so on, normal streams and normal YouTube. I always had difficulties because like what do you even post on the social media sites? Like I'm so clueless. I'm clueless how to even post anything there. I know I posted some stuff once, but there was basically no interaction with it. I don't even know anymore where it was. Wait. I had it somewhere. Like a tweet that I made, and I think really no one cared about what I wrote there. Which is a little sad, because all I really want is interaction. But yeah, I don't know. Holy shit. I keep scrolling and I don't find it. I don't know. I always feel like when I post something there, I talk with myself. Each and every single time I do that. Which is most times, which is actually the reason why I just post my, hey, I'm live, and then simply close the website. Like seriously, I have not the social media presence I should have. But then again, I don't know. Where do I have this? It's been so... Holy hell. How did I post this bullshit back then? Oh no, the time where where my stream announcements always involved like a meme or a GIF fitting to the stream. I remember. Huh. Holy shit. No, but honestly, it's... I'm so utterly lost with this bullshit. Ah, here. Yeah, people don't interact with my tweets. So I stopped actually tweeting them. I stopped tweeting at all. And I have the same issue with something like Blue Sky and also Reddit. The only time that I actually posted something on Reddit was when I had a technical issue, which I ended up fixing myself, but since multiple people said they have the same issue, I posted the fix as well. Something that not many do. I don't know. It feels like it sometimes. Oh. No, I don't know. I have to interact with people more. I'm such an incel. Holy shit, it's not even funny. It's not even funny. Like I don't know what to do in that case. Anyway, back to myself. Yeah. What was I talking about? Before I went over to social media? Wait. What the hell was I talking about? Ah! My brain! My brain is again not braining. That's not good. That's really not good. Reminds me, guys, everybody, what do you prefer? Shall we watch something together? Or shall I play something for you? Both would be fine for me. Both would be absolutely fine for me. Because I personally are so utterly lost in space. Also, I still try to somehow make it work. I still want a cooking stream at one point. But my, how do I say it? The kitchen is a menace. The kitchen is, it's, I don't know, Chernobyl looked fine after the bomb compared to my kitchen. No, I didn't just say that. Scratch that. That was bullshit. No, but honestly, it's a. Yeah. What I said. Scratch that. That looks. What I mean, it's a nuclear reactor. That's why I said scratch that. I was switching around Fukushima, Hiroshima, and Chernobyl. Don't worry. I know why I said scratch that. That was not because it was it was questionable, but more like because I was wrong. No, but honestly, even Chernobyl, even if we go with Chernobyl, it looks fine compared to my kitchen. By the way, hi Black Wolf. How you doing? Having good Monday so far? Surviving the Monday? I hope so. I need more coffee. I was already talking again about the pure fact that I need to do more on social media. Getting myself out there, but I'm so clueless how to do that. Every time I post something on X or Blue Sky, surviving is a pretty unfitting word for my current situation. Oh no. Oh no. Hacks. Lots of hacks. Oh. No. What's wrong? You're alive. You're still writing. So as long as as long as you didn't die and some necromancer came by, you're still there, yeah? Speaking of necromancer, I just saw something where I had to say like, yeah, that is an interesting perspective. It's a joke, don't worry, it's a joke video, but yeah. I don't know. Necromancer are pretty romantic. I mean, it depends which one. There are the ones who are becoming necromancers to revive their loved ones. There are the ones who become necromancers purely out of curiosity. and wanting to get more knowledge. And there are the necromancers who want to rule the entire world of zombies. Necromancers. Ah! Yeah. No, but it's a rule. No, it was necromancer in town. Yeah, revived a victim of a serial killer. The victim slightly confused. The necromancer tells her to not tell anyone about the freaking serial killer, because he is playing a prank on the serial killer. Every time the killer kills a victim, the necromancer comes around and fixes it by reviving the murdered person. And then tells them to just act like nothing happened. And the next time they walk past the serial killer, he must have questioned his entire life. Yeah, he will keep going and kill people. But this necromancer will keep fixing it. To screw the serial killer over and make him look like an absolute fool to himself. Guys, to work in a time loop. Yes! Also something. A bard goes over a field. Comes a centaur and tells him, hey, you can't be here. I challenge you. Because you're on my land. The bard says, okay, but we fight on my terms. I demand a horse race to the tree over there. And the centaur is like, yeah, sure. If your death sentence. And the bard says, okay, I sit on my horse. Where's yours? The centaur points to his lower half. And the bard is like, well, you are a centaur. Technically spoken, you are not a horse. And the centaur is like, wait, you want me, a centaur, to sit on top of a horse to horse race you? Technically spoken, this is what you agreed to. like seriously, honestly, we have to watch that at one point. These are YouTube shorts that a YouTube channel makes. I don't even know where was it. Did I subscribe them? I did subscribe to them. Oh, I don't remember the name. I have subscribed to way too many channels. Holy shit. Also something that I never will understand. I mean, wait. The centaur agreed to do a horse race to determine if the guy gets killed or not. Yeah, he agreed to it, and centaurs have a certain sense of honor. Yeah, I know. Rare for beastmen, but yes, they have. And he got completely played. No, what is the... Oh, Punky Doodles! There it is. Doodle channel. Oh, they have so many good shorts, like seriously. For example, D&D character. The talking horse. Now listen. Normally, what you would think is, okay, it is a horse that got, like, cursed or a spell was cast on it. But this is, seriously, he was born a talking horse. Because the mother was a centaur. The father was a horse-head minotaur. And his sister has the opposite effect. Yeah, the talking horse simply got the horse parts of the parents. His sister is a completely normal human, but can't speak normal. She only can speak horse. Imagine you stand guard in a really remote castle, and suddenly there's a knock at the gate. You are not allowed to leave your position, but curiosity, like, it's a very remote castle. Who could possibly knock at the gate? You open the gate and there's a horse. And you asked yourself, why is there a freaking horse? The horse simply leans in and whispers to you, nobody will ever believe you. That shot was one of the best, if you ask me. It's really one of the better ones. Oh no. They have so many. They have so many good ones. We really have to watch them at one point. They are absolute genius. They have something like Wizard Battle where they cast the absolute most hilarious things at each other. It's like, it's funny. It's really freaking funny. Yeah. What did I say before? Wait, before wait. Oh, wait, the social media stuff. Oh god, I am so all over the place. I cast Tiny Head. I cast Helicopter Beard. Oh no, yes, you know them. That's very good. That's very good. Yeah, we can watch them at one point. I'm just not sure what. So yeah, do you have any advice? Because I, as I said, if I post something on X or Blue Sky, I feel like I talk to myself, which feels weird as fuck. And if I post something on Reddit, Reddit is simply Reddit. Reddit is like, bloop. No advice? Yeah, I thought as much. But yeah, I don't know. It feels off. Maybe I should just go after the trends. Like, hey, this meme is in trend. Let's post it. Let's post a modified version of it. Or stuff like that. I don't know. And Reddit is simply so full with bullshit. Like, half of the stuff on there is straight up porn. Yeah, I can't even name it different. Yeah, it's so much off-brand. You can't even comprehend. You question, is it still a social media or is it already rivaling Wolf 34? Yeah, I don't know. It's yeah. By the way, I asked earlier, would you rather that we watch stuff on YouTube together? Or would you rather that I play something for you? Playing would be more interaction. Watching something together would be like watching something and then commenting onto it. Or maybe discussing, or maybe judging. I don't know. Would certainly also give conversation, but at the same time, I feel like last time we did it, I overdid it. A little bit. I'm not good at reactions, okay? I'm certainly not good at that. Because most stuff I already saw anyway. And I don't like to fake reactions because I'm already bad enough at reactions. I don't want to try faking them on top of it. That's absolutely bloop. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm online so much that 90% of the stuff that's worth watching, I already saw. You know? It's not good. It's simply not that great. Because the entire reasoning for reacting to it is already gone at that point. Maybe if we come to the point that I have a job, yeah? And don't spend 24/7 in front of the PC or in bed. maybe then we get to the point that we can do genuine, I can talk, genuine reactions, because I didn't saw it before. Maybe then. But before that, I feel like I'm not the right person for that. Yeah. Yeah. Ah! Why am I yawning? More coffee! No yawning, only coffee. Yeah. No, but wait. I wanted. What is wrong with me today? I'm so all over the place. God damn it. More than usual. Damn. What the hell? What the helly? Wait. I wanted to say something. Fuck! I don't know anymore. Anyway, maybe I remember in a moment. I don't know yet. Who knows? Anyway. By the way, have you seen Schedule 1 has the update? I'm late with this one. I'm seriously late with this one. The game has the update that you have now actual enemy clan against you, which is kind of cool. So you have actual use for the weapons, because the wait, where do we have this? Schedule 1. I don't know what the right pronunciation is. That's the drug dealing thingy. Where you sit in your little... Yeah, that one. It has the additions of the enemy clan that yeets your starting car out of existence and then never shows up again. Here, added the Benzi's family, a powerful rival cartel in the Highland Point. You will first encounter them once you unlock a number of customers in Westvale. Interaction will include cartel player deals, ambushes, dealer robbings, dead drop theft, cartel customer deals, added new purchasable property, the Highland Manor, added new vehicle, added graffiti system, you can spray graffitis on various surfaces. Added pump shotgun. And a little bit more of the customizable stuff. So yeah, that's something we could do. I mean, I finished the last save that I played anyway. The last save that I played, I don't know, I think I'm a millionaire? I have basically everything in the game. So having a new save to actually deal with this bullshit would be interesting. And they already have a voting out for the next addition to the game, which is either hireable drivers, fishing, or a new drug called Magic Mushroom. That would be interesting, but I find it questionable that they basically have taken out the police weights from the voting. That would have been also something interesting. Like that you actually have to be careful. The bigger you get, the more likely the police is that they raid your base. And you have to somehow either defend yourself or flee and save your product and stuff like this. I don't know. I feel like that would have been an interesting addition. But they went away from it. I'm not sure. But we could play that as well at one point if you want to. We have so many games. I said it before, I should make a list and post it in Discord or something. Simply because there's so many things that we could potentially do. And I'm absolute all over the place when it comes to deciding what we are going to do first. I mean, we started Cyberpunk and we have Stardew Valley. These are already two massive games with a lot of story and a lot of content. Schedule 1 would be a more, whenever approach. Because that's really not that story driven. Yeah, it's more like, simply doing something alongside nothing. Yapping. Lots of yapping. The pile of shame, of course. The pile of shame is huge. The pile of shame is simply there. I'm not sure how to deal with it. Because it's so massive. I actually made a list. It's so massive. There's so many. I can't. I seriously can't. I don't even have a job and don't have enough time to play it all. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah. Ow. 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 Fuck. What was this? My neck. That cracked. Oh, fuck. I shouldn't sleep on the couch. I shouldn't sleep on the couch in all seriousness. I don't even know why I slept on the couch. I was simply lazy. I couldn't. Yesterday evening, I turned off the PC, stood up, and was like, I sleep here. Whomp. Onto the couch. And was simply gone. And zip. Was not the best decision, because that thing is not comfortable at all. I want to sell it anyway. I don't like that couch. But it's simply there. So, let's see. Why do I keep forgetting what I want to say? What the fuck is going on with me? It hurts! Well, not directly hurting, just like, you know. It is hurting my brain that I can't remember stuff. It is absolute bloop. No. Okay. Anyway. Were you here when I was talking about my adrenaline problems? Like that I get adrenaline pushes every time I get even slightly stressed. When my body goes into fight or flight mode, despite there not even being a reason for it. That is a bothersome little failure, little problem. Yeah. I really don't know how to deal with it. There's nothing. I don't want even more medicine. I really don't. So, let's see. You know what? We can simply play something. We are already over an hour. Did I spend an entire hour yapping again? Excuse me? Excuse you? Wait, what? Why am I doing that? Every time. Hilarious. No. Okay, let's see. What would you prefer? Like, seriously, I'm open to nearly everything. As long as it's not a game that I would have to mod first, because I can't play it without. and I'm serious about this. We could continue Stardew Valley. We could continue Cyberpunk. We could simply start Schedule 1. We could continue yapping, if you're fine with that. I was earlier talking, by the way, about think Cyberpunk. Yeah, why not? I was earlier also talking about Warhammer Fantasy stuff that the little bit of awake time that I had, because I was eating a lot today, I spent with watching Warhammer lore. But only fantasy lore, because 40k is, in my opinion, meh. There is not enough depth in it. I don't know. It feels like... Yeah, and look at this guy. He is insane. And look at this guy. He's even more insane. And look at this one. The entire planet exploded, but it didn't matter. And look at this one. 50 million people died, but it doesn't matter. There's not enough work? That's true, actually. No, but I simply think the scaling is off the charts. Like, the scaling is all over the place with 40k, and that's one big issue. I prefer freaking Star Wars over 40k simply because it has a proper scaling. Yeah? If you lose a fleet of ships there or a planet there, it actually is important. It actually has consequences. In 40k, it doesn't matter. And that's the reason why I like fantasy more, Warhammer Fantasy. If you lose a single city there, that's already a disaster. If you lose an army against Chaos or against the Orcs, you already have a big problem at hand. Because the scale is so much smaller, but the stakes are evenly high. Compared. The stakes are even higher if you think about it. Also, I think my favorite ways. Do we talk 40k or do we talk fantasy? Because in 40k, I have to admit, I'm fantasy. Okay. No, in 40k it would be, I think, the Necrons. They are interesting simply because there's so much uniqueness to them. But in fantasy it's a little harder. I'm a sucker for dwarves in that sense. I don't know what it is. I like the dwarves. I like them in Lord of the Rings. I like them in basically every setting, and the dwarves in Warhammer are absolutely hilarious. This goes into the book! Short? Did you just say that? That goes into the book! They are absolutely hilarious, come on. No, but the more I think about it, I personally think the Skaven are simply better. The Skaven are such a unique race, no matter which fantasy setting you look at, the Skaven are such a unique race in Warhammer. They're funny, they're disgusting, they're crazy, they're interesting. There's so many things. And if we go with gameplay wise from the Warhammer Total War, they are rats, exactly. We are the rats. We are the rats. We are the rats. Yeah, no, I like it, but I think one big reason, if we go gameplay wise, then I have to honestly say that Skaven and dwarves are too similar. They put you in a fantasy world with rats, exactly, but not just rats. If you really go deep dive, yeah, deep dive, into also all the races that were not properly fleshed out or explored. You, for example, have actual fishmen. You have, of course, the lizardmen. You have Amazons. You have the Emir, who are one-eyed, strange things. Imagine like a mix of bird, troll, dinosaur with only one eye. Yeah? No, not Cyclops. Wait, let me see. Do I find a picture of them? Emir are very different. No, Emir. Stop correcting me. Google, stop correcting me if you can't correct it correctly. Ways. Here. Do I get pictures from them? No, of course. Freaking Warhammer. Races. Come on, you have some, right? I mean, they, for example, also have snake people who are completely different from the lizardmen because the snake people are actual chaos worshippers. Come on. Give me freaking pictures of them. I know there are pictures. Wow! Okay, wait. Do I have to search it here? Oh, come on. The thing is simply there are actual ways that is normally in the lore counted as a female. I'm simply stupid. That's why I don't fight them. I'm simply stupid. I named them wrong. Wait. Female. Ah, yeah, there we have them. They're, I would nearly say, a little bird-like. Bird, dinosaur, troll. They're crazy. Crazy looking, wait. I mean, in a way they are Cyclops because, like, obviously they have, like, only one eye, which is the main definition. Or do they have multiple eyes? Can they have multiple eyes? I don't think so. Yeah, okay, wait. Can I... Please... Wait, we can go over here. And... There. That's a female. Look at this thing. What is that even? Yeah? It's like... How... This is one of the ways that sadly never got properly explored, because, like, well, surprise, they are meant to be extinct, but at the same time nicht. That's food. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. No, but it's like they have so many strange beings. Also, for example, the ogres. Yeah, the ogres in Warhammer Fantasy, they want two things. And two things only. And if you give them one of them, they leave you alone. Number one, money. Good gold. Straight up. Number two, yeah, meat. meat. And if you don't give them either of the two, you become the meat. They eat everything. Like, seriously, they eat you, they eat the Skaven, they eat the lizard men, they don't care. They are not racist, they eat everybody. They try to eat demons, but the demons, if they die, they simply poof into thin air and back into the chaos realm. So they could never try them. But yeah, they're willing to eat everything. It's really hilarious. Of course, you have the orcs. Yeah, with the warg. They're actually the biggest similarity between the two settings. Like, put a orc from the 40k universe in the middle of a orc horde in fantasy, and he will feel right at home. He would be a little confused that there are no ranged weapons, but whatever. Yeah, would be really like, yo, let's go. No, but I think even the freaking orcs in fantasy, they're so much more unique and have many characters that go so out of the way. Like, they have so many different versions of orcs. Yeah, you have the black orcs, who are artificial ways, in the sense, because the chaos dwarfs created them in a try to make more productive and strong and endurable slaves. Yeah, sadly, they also made them smarter. So, what happens if you make a orc? If you make your orc slaves bigger, stronger, more stamina, smarter, and everything, what happens? Yeah, they rebel against you and actually kick your butts. No, then you have the goblins, who are actual threat all by themselves. While in 40k they are like, yeah, okay, they're there. Yeah, they are the little sidekicks. No, in fantasy they are a menace to society. If they go onto their psychotic shrooms and go onto a trip, they simply, when they come back to senses, basically everything I want them is dead. Yeah, they lead entire war bands by themselves. Because they simply wait until the orc leader sleeps and cut his throat. Yeah? It's like, yeah. Or you have the savage orcs who refuse to wear armor. And they are simply like this kind of orcs who even judge the other orcs as too civilized simply because they actually dig a hole to shit in. Instead of just letting it drop where they stand. Like, seriously savage. Yeah, it's like a big difference. And I like that so much more. Yeah, I like that so much more in fantasy, that there are so many things that are so unique and so different. Oh no, we have ads? Ads incoming! I'm sorry, party people! I don't like that. I don't like that. Why are we having ads? No! Always the same shit. Always the same with the ads. The Eddie ads. They're everywhere, I tell you. No. But in all honesty, if I really think go completely to it, there are also so many races that are not even really fleshed out that are actually really interesting. For example, the faction of Araby. Simply not really put into focus just because of the name. Yeah? Because it could be controversial to really put them out there. Which I understand to an extent. There are enough crazy people who take that serious. But yeah, I don't know. I would like to see all the races properly fleshed out with lore and all. But I fear we will never get that. I fear we will never get that. Yeah. I like the Beastmen. Yeah, the Beastmen are also very different from each other. Like, you have different tribes of Beastmen. You have, for example, of course, the Minotaurs, you have the Pestigors, you have the Zigors. You have so many different ones. The difference is simply the one are like this massive, really massive, multiple meter tall beasts. Then, of course, Minotaur. Yeah, sure. The Zigors are based on goats. The Pestigors are... Wait, were the Pestigors the Centaurs? Ah, Centigor, yeah. Centigor is the Centaurs. What was the Pestigor? Wait. Was the Pestigor just the mutated human version? Pestigor... no, Pestigor is also goat-based. Okay. Ah, yeah, Pestigor is just like a larger version of the other one. Okay, yeah. No, but like, they are very unique in that sense. Also, how they came to be is very unique. They are basically chaos mutated humans. Yeah. Which is crazy if you think about it. Like, every other setting has different reasons why they have beast folk. Yeah. Warhammer simply says like, it is not really a race because they are just mutated humans. Which is interesting. It's an interesting approach. And even inside of the, apart from that, you also have, for example, very unique characters in there. You have, wait. Yeah, characters. You have, for example, Kazrak One Eye is simply a Pestigor who is very, very demanding. Yeah, he simply he simply dominated his tribe and leads it. Yeah, we have Malagor, who actually has two very large raven wings and is a complete mage, a complete shaman. We have Morgul, who is basically a utterly mutated thing with a crab hand and tentacles and everything. We have Taurox, who is a huge Minotaur, who is basically... He's called the Brass Bull because he's basically covered completely in bronze. Yeah, and he has like a hole in his chest where fire is burning constantly. And he is bloodthirstier than... And he's more bloodthirsty than any other beastman known. And I like that they used these four characters especially for the Total War game. Because the four that they used actually symbolize the four Chaos Gods. Which is kinda cool. Yeah. Good picks. No, but alone, even if you just take humans, yeah? If you just take humans in Warhammer Fantasy. In 40k, there you have the Imperium. You have the Machinicals from Mars. And you have all the different Space Marines, legions. You have the humans who basically fight for chaos. And that's basically it, right? You have some separate rebels, but they are like very minor, very not important, or don't do much. In fantasy, humans are so split up. You have the Empire, which in itself is very splittered, and the elector counts were basically leaders of their each individual little land inside the Empire. You have Bretonia, who goes completely different. Because where the Empire actually has gunpowder and, how was it said? Fate, steel, and gunpowder. And lots of all of three of them. Yeah? They are the most normal one. They are basically the protagonist faction. But at the same time, they are understandably the one of the few factions that the cult consider as nice. Or like, yeah. But yeah, they are there. Then you have Bretonia, who is all about medieval knights and following a complete different god, which is basically just an elfen lady or something as far as I understood. You have Kislev, which is basically Eastern Europe. Yeah, riding on bears and fighting against chaos 24/7. You have Norska, who are Vikings, who are completely chaos worshippers and love waiting the other factions on the map. You have Katei, who are humans who follow some immortal dragons that openly defy the Chaos Gods, and believe it or not, the biggest dragon, the Celestial Dragon Emperor, is on par with the Chaos Gods for thousands of years at this point. You have the Tilea, Estalia, and the Border Princes, who are basically just a bunch of smaller kingdoms, all with their own little type of culture, more based on Spain, Italy, and so on. You have Araby, who is obviously based on Araby itself. You have the Amazons in Lustria, who basically live alongside the Lizardmen, more or less, who are exclusively women. And I have no idea how Games Workshop intended them to even be alive, or how to reproduce. I have no idea. Yeah, then you have how are they called? Wait. The Han, who are basically Mongols who also follow the Chaos Gods and try to raid everyone. You have actual pirates on the sea who are completely separated. And a few other factions that are not too much explored, sadly. Because you have one faction, no, two more factions, basically India and Japan. Japan is called Nippon, and it's very standard Japan. Like, they have actual samurai and stuff like this. And then you have the Kingdom of Ind. Yeah, not Int, Ind with a D. They are basically your standard, like, imagine India with all the standard, with the religions all mixed together and some crazy figures and elephants. That's it. But they also have a very unique beast race again, which is not chaos related actually, which are tiger and ape men. Like actual massive gorillas in armor and massive tigers on two legs also in armor. And they follow the so-called Monkey King, who is basically just like the Warhammer version of Sun Wukong, who is a very legendary Chinese figure. It's like Son Goku from Dragon Ball is actually based on him. The original. Yeah? Not the Dragon Ball Z or stuff like this. That goes over the mark. So yeah, alone the humans are so uniquely different in so many aspects compared to 40k. And then you have all the other races on top of it. And even they are very split. Yeah? Look at the freaking Skaven. Right, the one is actually building literal nukes. The other one is building wet giants fused together out of different wets. And by the way, he's letting them mutate even more. The next one is like completely Assassin's Creed style. Simply assassinating you without you even noticing that they are there. Then there's one who throws every single disease known to man and not known to man at you. And is not even following Nurgle, which pisses him off a lot. Then you have the standard Skaven who run away and wait for you to turn around to attack again. And you have Skaven who actually don't do that, but face you head on and be like, yo, try to beat us. We simply slit you open. Yeah? We slice you open like a piece of bread or something. Like, there are so many unique factions. There is one Skaven clan actually so in love with a volcano and fire that even the other Skaven clans are scared of them to interact with them, because potentially everything they do will potentially and most likely catch fire alongside everything around them. Oh, it's absolutely hilarious what you have there. Yeah. Is it noticeable that I'm a fan of that? I think it's noticeable that I'm a fan of the fantasy universe. In all honesty, it's the amount of stuff in Warhammer Fantasy is simply more uniqueness, in the sense of it's not simply Space Marine with I kill you gun against alien with even bigger I kill you gun against Tyranids who just wants to eat them all. Yeah, it's like, it is more unique in that sense. Then you have the full vampires and how they came to be. How came necromancy into the entire thing? Why the Tomb Kings got resurrected and fight against other undead? Because they don't want to be undead. There's so much stuff. And I jump from one place to the other right now without any clear line in the lore right now, simply because I simply babble. I simply babble. The thing is simply, I love a good fantasy setting. I spend more time reading about Lord of the Rings than I want to admit. I mean, I rewatched the movies so often I can't even count it. I read the Lord of the Rings books, all 3 of them, I think at least 10 times each. Like, yeah, that amount. Like, I read the Silmarillion a few times. Which is also kind of hilarious. So, yeah, it was actually inevitable. It was actually not avoidable that I lose myself in the Warhammer Fantasy. Like, in all honesty, absolutely not avoidable. Funny enough that it went so past me for so many years. I mean, when did Warhammer 2 came out? Wait. Warhammer 2 got released in 2017. I think I'm into Warhammer since 2018. Yeah. I think around 2018 I started looking into Warhammer. Which is really late if you think about it. I don't even know why. It never really got me that much. But the moment I looked into it, I drowned. I simply got consumed. Speaking of consuming, my coffee is empty. No, if I really think about it, when we will play Warhammer 3 at one point, of course modded. It needs to be modded, otherwise it would be too easy and also too boring. Because to standard, because I could exploit the entirety of the AI way too much. I will drop more lore. Most likely based mostly for the faction that we play, but I will drop more lore. So what did we want to do? Oh wait, Cyberpunk, right? Oh. Yeah. 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 Cyberpunk. We wanted Cyberpunk. We do more Cyberpunk. Do I even want to do Cyberpunk? I'm relatively EP, to be honest. I'm relatively EP. I don't know if I would pay attention right now. I certainly don't know if I would pay attention to Cyberpunk right now. I want to experience the stories a little bit. But I feel like I would actively not realize what is even going on if I would play it now. No need to force yourself. Yeah, that's the whole thing. It feels right now, I look at the picture, I look at the game, and feel like I would have to force myself to start it right now. You know what I mean? And I think I'm so all over the place at the moment. Like, seriously, I think it's noticeable that I lost myself just now in jumping all over the world of Warhammer. That I can't concentrate right now. I can't concentrate today. It's a little strange. So I would say I simply start a game when I feel like it. Yeah. Until then we yap and yap and yap and simply do stuff. By the way, did you, because I mentioned it earlier, did any of you ever read Lord of the Rings? Like the books? Did you do this to yourself? Or did you read the wet book, which is basically the 3-in-1 version, shortened? Did anyone of you ever do this? As said, I did it more times than I want to admit. Or at least watch the movies. Nope, never read it. Ah, you missed out. You missed out. They cut so much from the movies. Did you watch the movies? Because otherwise I don't even need to start. Because they cut out so much good stuff, but I understand the reasoning behind it. Because if you watch who hasn't, you would be surprised. Jordi never watched Lord of the Rings. I ended up watching it together with him because we had the conversation about movies and so on, and I don't know how, but we came to Rings of Power, and I said Rings of Power is garbage. Even if I take away the pure fact what they did to Lord of the Rings and the relation to Lord of the Rings, even if I take this completely out, I personally find the series garbage. Because there's way too much cringe, way too much forced, way too much cheap looking, and also way too much stuff that doesn't really make sense. Yeah? And funny enough, all the changes that they wanted, like that the Dwarven Queen was black-skinned and had no beard, I can justify it in the lore. If you would know the lore, you could. A black elf, I could justify it if you give me 5 minutes. But hey, guess what Disney did? They didn't give a fuck and just did it and said deal with it. Instead of looking in the material. I mean, let's be honest here. A black elf, yeah? It is questionable to begin with. Not gonna ask, yeah? Not gonna say anything. But you are aware that in the south of Middle-earth, like you have here Gondor, then Mordor, and below Mordor you have Howard, with the certainly like a little like Arabic kinda people, and below Howard you have Far Howard, which is a massive jungle where they actually have this giant elephants, the Mumakils, the elephants, however you want to call them. They come from this jungle, and the humans that live there are actually black-skinned. Yeah, they are very dark color. And even more south of that is even more land. So if you go like this, you could simply justify that down there were also elves, because we are in the lore, we are aware that not all elven folk traveled to the west. Not all left their original homes or even wandered off completely. So you could justify they come from there. And since there is so much sun and heat and way less forest, dark skin. Come on! Evolution. They live for whatever of how long. Of course it can happen. Same with the dwarves. Yeah, we have 4 dwarven clans that we don't know where they went. We know they have like a little bit of contact with the ones that we see in the movies, but we don't know anything really of them. Some of them even fought for freaking Sauron and on the side of evil. You could always say they also traveled south. It is hot as hell there and lots of sun. Maybe they even evolved to the point that they partly live overground, which would justify why they have black skin, shorter beards, and the woman maybe even no beards because it's hot as hell. Yeah? You could so easily justify so much bullshit without breaking the law. And even if I say it's not canon or anything, it would be at least more understandable where you're coming from with the idea, you know? We don't need to talk about the acting being garbage, the story writing being garbage, and the overall scenes. I mean, yeah, okay, there were some scenes that were nice ideas, but what the hell were these costumes? They were so blop. I mean, also the idea that there are actual orc women and children is not completely wrong, because orcs originally were elves that got transformed to torture and so on and dark magic. Because it is stated nobody except Iluvatar, the top dog of all gods, the creator of everything, nobody except him can create actual life. So what the evil guys actually did were taking elves hostage and turning them into orcs. So orcs, as we know them, are actually bred. So they have reproductive organs. So there must be females somewhere. Because how else do you get hundreds of thousands of them? And yes, you could say, hey, there's dark magic. Hi, Foxy. I just finished audiobook and I'm a bit disappointed that it was the last in the series. Things in the end, and it explicitly said that the protagonist's story is over. There will be more books. Oh. Oh. Okay. Nah. Doesn't sound nice. I mean, nice in a way, but at the same time not. Sorry to hear so. No, but like, if you think about it, even if you justify, yeah, okay, they could only breed so many artificially with the dark magic they used. The orcs also replenished themselves and got more and more, while Sauron and no other Dark Lord or Wizard or anything was present. Just the orcs by themselves. And they don't have magic. With other words, how do they increase their numbers? It makes sense that they have actual family. It doesn't really make sense that they really care about them that much, as they showed in Rings of Power, but if you think about it, an orc male is most likely to some extent protective to his female. Or the society of the orcs is very male focused from what we know. That they are most likely protective of the females to keep the reproductive line going. Because they are so warlike that they continuously lose people. Especially also against themselves, because they keep fighting each other. And every kind of orc child most likely stays with the females until they are old enough to hold a weapon by themselves. And are allowed out of the caves. Yeah? It's like, I can't imagine that there's some actual family thinking with them. But more like this whole, how do you say it? Similar to the Skaven in Warhammer. Yeah? That the females are simply so deep underground and are just there to produce more orcs. Yeah? That's how I imagine it, and how it most likely also is. And I personally, I think in the books, you have some scenes where I understand why they didn't put it in the movies, simply because the continuity and the time. The movies are already long as fuck. For example, when the hobbits leave the Shire towards Bray, normally they go through the Old Wood, which is completely skipped. The Old Wood is basically like Fangorn. Like a lot of living, actually sentient trees. And there is one magical being, Tom Bombadil, who is outside of the world. Like, basically, he is a magical being unaffected by the ring. He is so powerful, but at the same time can't take anything serious because he's so powerful. So he doesn't even see the ring as a threat. And they simply meet him, and he saves them from the living trees who wanted to kill them. Ha 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 ha. Something that happened again in Fangorn. And leads them out of this entire forest, and they come to this massive graveyard. How is this called in English? To the barrows. To a massive field of barrows where they have to travel through. And at one point they simply get captured by a white. And by a barrow white. And nearly died. And Tom Bombadil realized the mistake to let them go alone. Saves them last minute. And then they go from there towards Bray. And in this barrow, which are the barrows of the former kings of Arnor, the Northern Kingdom, basically Gondor 2.0. Yeah? Merry and Pippin found very old daggers, which are magical and capable of hurting the Witch King. Which also explains the last the one scene in Return of the King where they kill the Witch King. In the book, it's not a normal sword that Pippin uses, but this actual antique dagger, this magical dagger that he rams into the Witch King's back. And because he uses this dagger, the Witch King got weakened enough for Eowyn to actually be able to kill him. Without this dagger, she wouldn't have been able to hurt him at all. Because as interesting as the message is, no man can kill him. No man can beat him. It's actually put in a movie like, yeah, but what about a woman? When actually in the book it was meant to actually no human can kill him. Yeah, it's a nice twist that they made. It's still a nice scene. Yeah, the entire Battle of the Pelennor is still a very interesting scene. Also, in the books, there was no ghost army at the Pelennor Fields. Yeah, exactly, the wording. It was never written. It was it was given over by mouth. So they simply took that and turned it around, since they had to cut the whole thing with the bows. So they had to come up with something that made sense, you know? No, also the Army of the Dead. Yeah, the ghost army that Aragorn brought to Gondor to defeat the Orc army. That never was real. Aragorn only used this ghost army to free the cities south of Gondor, who were overrun by the Corsairs, by the pirates, and took over the pirates. And after that, he let the ghosts go, and in return, gathered all the remaining forces that were in the south of Gondor fighting that could never make it to Minas Tirith and the Pelennor Fields. And with them, he arrived at the southern border to the Pelennor Fields. And with them, he attacked the Orc hordes. Yeah, there were never anything else. Of course, they had to skip this as well. Because Imrahil, the cousin of Boromir and Faramir, you see him actually in the movie. The blunt guy that shows up talking with Gandalf a few times. Not well, more in focus, never named, sadly. He is the cousin of Boromir and Faramir. He is actually, in the book, never in Minas Tirith. He is actually in the south, in his own homeland, Dol Amroth, fighting to somehow protect his people down there until Aragorn arrives and takes him along to storm towards Minas Tirith and free the city. Yeah, it's also, it was never explained why elves and dwarves never came to the Pelennor Fields. That is simply because they were sieged by themselves. Yeah, the Erebor was sieged by Easterlings, by an Easterling army, at the same time as the Battle of the Pelennor Fields. And, I don't know, did you watch The Hobbit? Did you watch The Hobbit? The Hobbit movies? Because, otherwise the next names wouldn't make sense if you didn't watch that. The Dwarf King and the King of the humans up there, in front of Erebor, they both died in the siege. The Human King died, and he was a very, very good friend with the Dwarven King, and the Dwarven King refused to leave the corpse of his friend behind at the mercy of the Easterlings, and stood above him until he himself also dropped. But it was enough to drive the Easterlings back. And the elves of the Greenwood, yeah, the elves of Thranduil, they were also under siege by orcs from Dol Guldur. Yeah, they were also under siege. Everything got attacked at the same time, so no one can help the other. It was a master plan, but yeah. In this master plan was not taken into consideration that Saruman actually loses at Helm's Deep. And the Rohirrim are able to ride towards the Pelennor. That was not part of the plan. So yeah. Or a different thing that they also changed. In the second movie, when the elves arrives at Helm's Deep, that is made up. There were never an elf army. There was never an elf army. The humans defended that fortress alone and managed to beat the Uruk-hai on their own. Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's a great scene, but yeah. The thing is, Saruman had his own plan. He never planned to actually submit to Sauron. He planned to overthrow Sauron. He would have kept the ring to himself. His plan was, actually, he was doing 4D chess. Yeah? And went crazy along doing so. He was like first very heavy against Sauron. And was like, okay, you know what? Everybody, stay down. I deal with him myself. Because I'm more powerful than any of you. Which was right. But it was the wrong decision. He ended up trying to use the Palantir to spy on Sauron. Got more or less corrupted in the way. Then noticed that he got corrupted. But tried to take it to his advantage. And basically tried to backstab Sauron. He took the knowledge of Sauron to create the Uruk-hai, and he wanted to create an army that is not just on there to overrun humans and overtake them. No, also in the long run, be able to defeat Sauron and stand at the top himself as Lord. He simply was like, you know what? I am not Saruman the White. I'm Saruman of many colors. And if he would have gotten the ring, he would have openly challenged Sauron for the rule over Middle-earth. He would have gone openly to war if he had the ring. And it was a constant battle in the shadows. Like, it was only mentioned in the Silmarillion, not in the books and not in the movies, that the Uruk-hai and orcs of Isengard and the Black Orcs and the orcs of Mordor were basically fighting each other every time they met. Yeah? They were straight up murdering each other the moment they hit each other somewhere. So yeah, it is basically not really good against evil, it is basically good against everyone. It is a free-for-all and the good guys stand by the sideline and suffer alongside. Or also something, in the books, Saruman doesn't die in Isengard. He flees, along with Grima. And where they flee is the Shire. They actually, with a small orc horde, march into the Shire and enslave the hobbits, the halflings. So Sauron was Germany, Saruman was Italy, Rohan was France, and Gondor was Britain. In a way. In a way. Yeah. You could say it like this. But actually, I would. Yeah, actually, yes. In a way. No, Saruman actually enslaved the entire Shire in the books. Because what you see in the first movie, the vision that Galadriel gives to Frodo in the mirror, where he sees all his fellow halflings in chains and the Shire in flames and everything. That's just simply like that little bit that they could give. Because in the movies it wouldn't make sense. It starts with Frodo getting the ring. He needs to destroy it. And ends with Frodo destroying the ring. It is basically the hero story, yeah? And going then, after he destroyed the ring, he comes back home to Wally, his fellow halflings, to fight another battle against freaking Saruman. That doesn't make so much sense for a movie. It is kinda meh. In the books it works, yeah? Because in the books you just know that Saruman and Grima fled. They vanished after their defeat. And when Frodo, Sam, Merry Pippin return to the Shire, they realize relatively fast that the entire thing is an industrial nightmare and that the halflings are all enslaved. And they simply start a rebellion against the orcs and lead their fellow halflings into battle against the orcs. And since they are... Yes, the orcs are stronger and bigger and actually with actual weapons, but the halflings simply outnumber them by 10 times. Yeah? So they actually go at it, and I think that's actually where Saruman dies. Wait. Yeah. Saruman dies in the Shire as Grima cuts his throat during the Hobbit revolt against Saruman's control. After his death, Saruman's spirit, a pale, misty figure, turns west, but is scattered by the cold wind and dissolved, unable to return to the Undying Lands. Because the wizards are actually basically angels. And Saruman is simply fallen. And normally when they die, their soul, so to say, returns to the Undying Lands to get reborn. Yeah? They can't really die, which is why Gandalf is alive. Because he died after slaying the Balrog. Because if you slay a Balrog, you die. That's the curse. And he was sent back because there was still stuff left to do. Fun facts, Balrog is on the same level of angel as Gandalf and Saruman and Radagast. Just fallen version, because turned to evil. Yeah? And yeah, the whole thing, Saruman actually died after he lost his physical body, because yeah, he was not left back to the world of the Undying, because like, yeah, you fucked up, my boy, you don't return. Also another thing, Sauron actually is also a Maya. Maya are simply this lower level of god. Yeah, basically the angels right below the gods. The Balrog is a Maya. Saruman, Radagast, Gandalf are Maya. Sauron is a Maya. They're actually all on the same level, but definitely of different power level. Which simply is because, for example, why is Gandalf as the White more powerful than Gandalf the Grey. It's simple. He didn't got more power in the sense of he got more powerful. He was just allowed to use more of his power inside the mortal world. Yeah. Depending on the color, it is basically dictated how much of their angel-like power they are able to utilize inside the mortal plane. Which is why Radagast, for example, is such a... He can talk with animals, he can kinda influence them and nature. He can do a little bit, but he's by far not as powerful as Saruman or Gandalf. Which only makes sense because he's not allowed to do more. And since the Balrogs, for example, or Sauron himself are basically not bound to this because the one god who actually turned them towards evil basically allowed them full power. Even after that god was defeated and locked away, they are basically still allowed to use full power because the upper greatest god of them all, for whatever reason, doesn't do shit about the bullshit. The thing is, that's the funny thing, Ilúvatar, the main god behind that entire world building, who even created all the other gods, and the angels, and the world, and humans and elves, and technically also the dwarves, but at the same time not. That was a different god who formed the dwarves out of clay, but they could only live when that god was basically mind controlling them, these figures. They didn't have a soul in that sense. And Ilúvatar was mad because he was supposed to be the only one being able to create life. And he found this first very insulting and wanted to smash them into a pulp, destroy them. But they begged for their life. Even though they didn't have a soul, they were still begging to stay alive, to be allowed to live. And Ilúvatar simply gave in and gave them souls, but under the requirement that they come into the world after humans and elves are already settled down. Yeah? Elves are the firstborn, then came the humans who woke up and entered the world, and dwarves were the last ones. And before you ask, hobbits or halflings, they are most likely a version of humans. Because they are of similar lifespan and similar anatomy, apart from being way smaller. It is never really stated where they are coming from. They were never mentioned in the creation story of this world. So it only makes sense that they must be like a evolutionary split up from one of the other races. Elves is not possible. Dwarves is not possible. What stays is left? Obviously humans. So basically, hobbits are a different form of humans. Oh god, yapping. Oh! My voice. My voice gives up. Ah! No, but, yeah, that is, I mean, half of the continent actually sunk into the ocean after the First Age and the massive war that was going on there. Yeah, you have to imagine the war was so massive that what Sauron did in the movies or slash books was basically child's play compared. Yeah. The armies that he had were not even half as many orcs as it was in the First Age. the first age, the army of the evil, yeah, the evil army, had, what was it? 12 bulwarks? 12 or 14 bulwarks? Or how many? Wait. How many bulwarks were there in the first age? We know the name of 3, the fights of 7, and it's likely that they were up to 11 or 12. And they were leading the army of orcs. Then you had actual dragons, part of the army of evil. You had, of course, all kinds of trolls, giants, the orcs themselves, werewolves, vampires. You had it all, yeah? Undead. Yeah, undead, also part of the armies of evil in the first age. And against them were basically just the elves. Without any god behind them, without anything. Part of the dwarves and humans ended up joining them towards the end. And the entire thing was simply going down so badly that half the continent simply sunk into the ocean and was gone. You have to imagine, that's this end-time scenario, and that's the start of the bullshit. And it's like, I mean, if the main, not even the main fortress, if the secondary fortress of the Forces of Evil consists of 3 freaking volcanoes and the entire mountainside turned into one giant fortress. Yeah? You know, that is only the second largest secondary fortress of the Forces of Evil. That tells you everything you need to know about what went down back then. Honestly, I would love a movie series covering that. That, well written, close to the original material and the characters, and with good actors and good CGI. Holy hell, it would be huge. But in today's world, absolutely not doable. We would just get Rings of Power 2.0 and it would be an absolute catastrophe. Like, seriously. I mean, there are memes, yeah? There's so many memes. Where is it? I saw this earlier. Yeah. Ah, yeah, I saw this on Insta. Yeah, that's a good example what I mean. It's not really sharp, but you know what I mean, yeah? This is the dollar budget. Gondor at its weakest. Numenor. The big kingdom that came beforehand. The predecessor of Gondor and Arnor. And basically the highest point of human civilization in that world. Blub. The highest point of human civilization and power and might. Is this? Like, what is this? Excuse me. What is this? Oh, holy. This is so disgusting. I tell you. No, there's so many. There's so much stuff. Yeah, it's overall, I have to say, I love the movies. I really do. And I understand why certain stuff was not put into them from the books. Since it wouldn't have made sense. But I would have loved seeing it all. Honestly, I would have loved seeing it all. Ah. Guys, what are you doing? What are you up to right now? I know you're still listening to me, but I am simply interested. What are you up to? Okay, nothing. I understand. I understand. No. By the way, I actually, what? No. Fishes! Oh, you're up with fishes. Okay, I understand that much. Are you fishing? Are you fishing well? Do you catch some? No, I was thinking. Yes, I do that sometimes. You won't believe, but I actually do that. Every now and then. Would you be up? You caught some depression? No! I have that already. Don't touch it. Believe me. No, I was thinking. I know a certain Lord of the Rings game that I really love, really like. It is called The Third Age. Ever heard of it? It is basically a game, relatively old. I played it on the freaking GameCube back then. Yeah, I played it on GameCube back then. It was only on GameCube and PlayStation 2. It is basically imagine Final Fantasy fighting style, like JRPG fighting style. Yeah, this round based, but with Lord of the Rings. And you have your own group. You start with a soldier from Gondor and an elf who happen to run into each other. And the elf saves the human. And the whole thing is simply that you follow the... You played it! Nice! Nice. I was thinking of replaying it, because the last time I played it, I had no idea what I was doing and was like... Yeah, damage! More damage! Damage is right? Okay, more damage, let's go! I had no idea what I was doing. Yeah, I was so oblivious to any buffs or like having a tank capture all the aggro or stuff like this. I was simply like, do damage and more damage and more damage. Everything else, it's kind of whatever, but damage. It's kind of how I used to play Pokemon back in the day. Yeah, I mean, who didn't? In the younger years, like the first Pokemon games that you played. Let's be honest. Status effects? Field effects? Yeah, that's how everyone did it. No, but status effects, field effects? Nah. Buffing? Yeah, buffing your attack or something? Nah. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't deal damage. Why should I use it? Well... because it would be smart. It would maybe be extremely smart. And maybe useful. Something like tactic, you know? Tactics? Someone? No, I think I could replay it at one point. But honestly, I have so many games on the list that I certainly don't know where I should even put this. 50% armor up? Doesn't deal damage. 250% damage up? Nah, also doesn't. Exactly! And it costs you only one round to do it. And it could simply bring you the insta-win. But no, you go damage. You go damage. Yeah, I don't know. For example, as a child, I was also like, why should I keep Flamethrower when Firestorm is doing so much more damage that it didn't even hit half as many times? Doesn't matter, it does more damage. The number is higher, that's all that counts. Oh no, these were times like, don't care, don't worry, don't bother with it, just play. I have to say, I enjoyed the games way more back then. But granted, Black and White did something to me. Pokemon Black and White was so story focused compared to the games before. Also with the question, hey, is it actually like, isn't it questionable to capture? Also the points the ability had were probably 5 to 10. Yeah, exactly. But you don't need more. If you hit, you do massive damage. You don't need more of them. No, yeah. No, Black and White, it was simply, hey, ask yourself, if Pokemon are actually living, feeling beings, mostly just as smart as humans, and have own lives in the wilds with families or whatever, is it really alright to capture them and forcefully take them with you? If you really think about it. Not from a game standpoint out, yeah? From a game view out, of course, screw it. But from a world perspective, if you think about it, isn't it, like, questionable? If you really think about it? I mean, sure, if you're a good trainer or whatever, you can really befriend the Pokemon and all, but it doesn't change the fact that you forcefully take it away out of its home area, possibly from the family, and force it to fight for you, and stuff like this. Like, Pokemon Black and White actually asked this question, and it's the main focus of the entire story. Like, the final battle is you against N. Each of you has won. Just buy it from the supermarket. Yeah, actually, if you think about it, if you go into our actual Pokemon in the Pokemon world, yeah? Everything in Pokemon world spoken, yeah? Obviously, real world is different. No Pokemon. No, if you would live there and would actually go to, like, a market that sells Pokemon, there again, you would do them a favor to actually buy them and treat them well. Give them a proper home. Compared to letting them rot in the Pokeball somewhere in the store. That's not less questionable. But then you could also ask, okay, yes, but you could let them free again, right? You could simply let them free again, let them live, or decide by themselves if they want to stay. Which is actually shown in the anime in some episodes where Ash or Satoshi, depending if you watch Japanese or actually English, where he actually gives his Pokemon the choice if they want to stay or not. He has this multiple times. Or also Pokemon that were like, where he simply asked them if they want to come along. And they decided by themselves to follow him. That is different. And I think that's way less questionable than just catching them by force. I mean, you basically do the Power World move. You walk up to them, bash in their head, and then throw a ball at them and say mine. Yeah? It's... Pokemon basically does the same. So, in a way, in the end, in Pokemon Black and White, the final battle is you against N. Each of you has one. I say yoink, exactly. No, but the final battle is you two against each other. He was originally kinda the leader of the evil team, But then again not, because the evil team turned out even turning on him, because they want full control instead of freeing the Pokemon like he wants it. And it ends up with each of one of you having one of the legendaries from Black and White, Zekrom and Reshiram, who are two sides of the same coin basically, because they used to be one Pokemon. Yeah? And it is basically the philosophy of Pokemon should always be free, compared to you should be allowed to keep the Pokemon if you treat them correctly. Yeah, if you are a good trainer and treat them right, it is fine to catch them. If you respect them and don't simply use them like toys or tools. And the other one is simply you shouldn't catch them at all. They are free living beings and should always be free. Humans are wrong. And it simply comes down to this fight over who is right. But at this point, it is already kind of like decided. Because no matter which one of you actually wins, the world will not really change that much. I mean, obviously for story reason you win as a player. But yeah, I find this more fascinating, more interesting. And in the anime they also showed this when they came to that area. And showed N. And he was kinda taken by surprise that Ash and his Pokemon were basically equals to each other. That's something he didn't knew and didn't saw, and I think they really caught the story and the meaning of the game really well. And I find simply compared to that, to how serious and deep the story was in Black and White, the newer games are so... Nemora, you're my rival now! Fight me! What do you mean you don't want to? You have to, because I say so. I run after you until you fight me. Fight me, fight me, fight me, fight me, fight me. And the whole thing is just a joke. Like, or Pokemon Sun and Moon, where, yeah, you're basically on vacation 24/7. And nothing gets really taken serious until the Ultra Beats come around. Which is this absolute out-of-universe power threatening you. I don't know. I think, like, the narrative from the earlier games were simply way better. Like, Red, Blue, Gold, Silver. I can't just say no to fights. That's also... that you can't say no is kinda like, what the fuck? Yeah? I mean, I understand it if someone challenges you and doesn't want to let you pass until you fought them. There are trainers certainly like this. There are people there that are like this, but that everyone is like that? Reminds me, I played a Pokemon fan game the other day. Pokemon Infinite. There was one trainer where I was like, oh fuck, I'm really low. My Pokemon are really low. Okay, I try him. I walk in front of him, nothing happens. I talk with him and he's like, huh? What? Oh, yeah. I'm not feeling like fighting. Just go by. I was so taken aback. Like, seriously. But I find simply, I think if they ever do a proper open world, I think they should move away from the whole you have to fight them. And more to a proper scaling, but I think they can't. I would like to have, like, I don't know. I have a imagination how an open world game of Pokemon could be. Yeah, more like you have certain areas where high level Pokemon wander around. You have a very low possibility rate to encounter a high level even in other regions, because that's how it goes. But every Pokemon is always above ground. Can simply spawn. Pokemon only spawn in a certain area around you. Similar how Skyrim did. You can basically say like Skyrim more. Yeah, that enemies can spawn around you. There are also some that are always around, depending on size. I mean, for example, Skyrim did this very well with open world in the way of you can run into a wolf, but around the corner is also a giant who bashes you with one hit. Yeah? Something like this. That it also scales a little bit with your own level as a trainer, which could be symbolized by how many badges you have. The arenas, the gyms, are also not dictated in what order you do them. But depending in what order you do, the gym battles get more difficult. For example, you can take, I don't know, I go example from the Pokemon Red, Red and Blue. If you go Brook's gym first, he only have 2 Pokemon, obviously. But if you go with him last, if you take his gym last, he has 6 Pokemon. And all of them higher level. Yeah? Like, that's their team changes depending on how many badges you have. I think that would be a very easy solution for our open world. And honestly, there are so many possibilities they could do. I don't know why Pokemon keeps holding onto the old format. But I guess they are simply so into this one narrow thing what they want to do. Or are allowed to do or stuff like this. Because have you seen that one game from Game Freak that they create, I think, for PlayStation? Or was it the Xbox? I'm not sure anymore. Pokemon is like FIFA. Yeah, in a way. No, even FIFA is better. The latest FIFA game at least once. No, here, for Xbox. They create this Monster Hunter-like game for Xbox. Freaking Game Freak, instead of a Pokemon game. And they, yes, okay. It is very standard in that sense. Like with monsters and fighting system, and you control your character, jump around, a little Souls-like, a little Monster Hunter. But the pure fact that they can create something like this only tells me that the bad Pokemon games is not Game Freak's fault. It is not Game Freak's fault. You have devs who obviously are able to do a proper game. I think it's Nintendo. Or the Pokemon Company. Which is under Nintendo. I think they are simply the main issue. If I look at the other Nintendo games who are kind of fine, like Mario, Super Mario, the Mario games, the Mario Kart, the Mario Party and so on, they're all fine. So I assume it's the Pokemon Company. That is simply bullshit. And forces Game Freak to make games so fast that they can't optimize it, they can't put proper graphic in, they can't do shit. They can't come up with proper new mechanics or new ideas simply because they have to rush. Faster. It needs to be ready. I think that's the biggest issue. And I hate it. Because we see it with so many titles on so many different platforms. If you do this, only bullshit comes out of it. Yeah? We have it over and over. I really hope the next Pokemon game will be fine. It will be for the Switch too, so they can't come with the excuse that the console can't do more. That's already something. But yeah. I remember I bought my Switch, my original Switch, only because I wanted to play Pokemon. I bought that thing for just one game. Granted, I ended up Of course going online, so paying for the online service. Bah. And use the online service to play the old Super Nintendo games that are free then. That was kind of nice. Yeah, playing the very first Mario Kart again and stuff like this. Why not? Why the fuck? What? What is flying here? Excuse me? Could you not? Could you leave me alone? Okay. No, but I would do it again. Maybe. But then again, the last Pokemon game I also... Yeah, I don't know. I think Pokemon is kinda dead for me as long as... If Pokemon ZA ends up being that Pokemon game everyone was waiting for, if it really is great, if really people are like, oh my god, they finally did a good game, then I will consider it. Otherwise, I will save the money. I have enough other stuff that I have to pay. Yeah, I have to pay for so much stuff now. I want to buy so many things. Actual important things. Yeah. Until then, we have other things to do. I mean, I have enough games, yeah? It's not like this. It is not that I have not enough games. Ba 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 ba. Do 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 do. Why am I EP? I will make me another coffee if this continues. Holy shit. Ah, my eyes. My eyes! Reminds me. Have you looked into the 7TV stuff that I added? Like, I added a few things there. Yeah, a few more things. If you have anything that you want to be added to 7TV, just tell me. We can come up with stuff. Because I would like to get the experience for you guys better. No, I don't have nudes. But thank you for asking, Kaskan. The what? The 7TV, the expansion for emotes. You know, you have one time you have like better Twitch TV for emotes, and you have 7TV for even more emotes, mostly animated ones. Do you have that? Because I added a bunch of emotes in there. And just so Kick knows, 7TV also works for Kick. Never used it? Aww. It is kind of fun. Because what you can do with it is you can actually add sound effects to this emotes. So if you then use one of the emotes in chat, a sound actually gets played inside the stream. Yeah, you can do that. I would have to look into it, how exactly it works, but it is possible. No, I also, speaking of the stream, little update. I am still struggling getting the animations going for the new intro. I didn't even started thinking about how the new outro screen will look. Because the outro screen is still a very old one. I even have my old model, my old outfit in there. Lul. Yeah, But honestly, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Maybe I have it for the next weekend or so. I'm not sure yet. I have the next 2 days, or even if I have tomorrow completely planned out. I started actually drawing. Nothing good out of it yet. Nothing, sadly. But I started drawing because I think I will make my own emotes. At least for followers. The not animated ones, you know? For animated ones, I fear I will have to pay money at one point. But that can take a long while until I want them. Yeah. I could... Wait, I have a new scanner here. I could scan in some of my old stuff that I was drawing back in the day. Before I stopped doing it at all. And simply show off a little bit if you want to. Actually, I could post it into Discord, right? Yeah, we have the art channel. Self-made art. Why not? I could do that. I would like to show off a little bit, you know? It is nothing great. It's mostly just like doodles that I did while being distracted by myself. Haha. But yeah, I could do that. Would you be up to take a look at that? I bet you are. It would certainly be something. Even though I'm relatively convinced that it's nothing great. Like, we have a few artists in the community who are certainly better than me in every single aspect. But yeah. Maybe. Just maybe. I try to stay awake, honestly. I'm getting ippy as fuck here. Just saying. Oh. Yeah, I think if I would play now, I would not pay attention at all for anything. Fuck. I mean, I wanted to do a yapping and react stream. I switched the react stuff simply because if I stop talking, I will fall asleep. 100%. Don't stop talking, nobody explodes. Aww. Yeah. So, what else can we do? What else can we do? Oh. Oh, fuck! Stop it! Gimme! Oh. I hate myself for that. Why am I EP? I'm always EP. I'm always tired. Now, honestly, now that I think about it, I could retry animating my wings. Because that's something, I have an animated tail now, but the wings, I would like to have the wings animated. And the tail a little bit changed in color to be more fitting towards the wings, you know? Like having more this pink. I think that would be nice. Yeah. Or the wings a little darker, more towards red. One of the two. Or I make completely new wings. I'm not sure yet, honestly. I'm not sure yet. What would you say? I mean, I personally, I don't know what is easier. getting these wings here animated and simply changing the color of the tail, or making new wings completely. I think, I don't know. I like the wings. I actually like them, but then again, the more I look at them, I think the tail fits better to my outfit. Or overall to my art style. While the wings look out of place. You know? They look a little bit too much like gum. Or something like this. Like rubber. Compared to the rest. Yeah, I have to see. Lots to do, lots to decide. Yeah. But honestly, guys, I know it's been only 3 hours. But, number one, my voice gave out at least 2 times already. I think I yapped too much over the last few days. And I'm EP as fuck. I would actually leave it today as a short stream. If this is alright for you guys. And I see that I will be fit for next time, so we can actually play something. Is this a deal? Does it sound like a deal? I think it sounds like a good deal. I think that sounds quite good and alright. At least to me. Because honestly, if my voice cracks one more time, if my voice gives out one more time, I would stop anyway. And I don't really want to force it, I'm honest. I'm seriously honest, I don't want to force it that I end up not being able to talk properly the next few days. That would be absolutely evil. Evil! No, seriously, I would call it a day already. I thank you for enduring me. I thank you for listening to this babbling that I do here. Yeah. I hope you still enjoyed the hangout. No, it's not normal. I wanted to stream more. That's the crazy thing. I wanted to stream more. I wanted to stream longer as well. But now, after just 3 hours, I'm basically throwing the white towel. Where's the white flag? Where's the flag of the French? Wait. No, I have to keep myself more together regarding the yapping. And maybe play some more or watch something instead. Or simply calm down a little bit. Just a tiny little bit. Maybe that would already help. You know? Maybe. Maybe. Just maybe. Are you even still there? Am I talking to myself or something? If so, be ashamed of yourself. Because I'm already up. Nah, don't be. It's just a joke. It's a joke! Don't! It's a joke! Nah, I know, seriousness. I would actually prepare something for next time. I would make use of the time that I get off earlier now. And do something productive for a change. And I hope you guys have a good week so far. And all. Not here? What do you mean not here? No productivity? Aww. So everything as always, I see. No, but in all seriousness, I really hope you have a good week. I hope it will not get too exhausting or stuff like this. And see you Thursday, okay? Okay? We are going Thursday with either Stardew Valley or Cyberpunk. One of the two. I think that is about right. We simply do one of the two Thursday and less yapping, okay? Simply because I feel like I have to get used to it more. As said, my voice gave out multiple times. It's not a nice feeling. It is basically like I have a constant scratching in my throat while I talk. Yeah. Go and get yourself some cookies. I will get me some more water in the meantime. It is certainly needed. Yeah, well then. Nah, we don't wait anyone today, do we? Wait, do we even have someone to wait? Nah. Nah, not today. It's fine. Have a good evening, all. Thank you for watching, and see you then. See you in a few days. Bye bye. Bye bye. Gluck, 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 gluck. Gluck, 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 gluck.